I was just a little thinking.
No.
You start like
What?
My name is. Yes, I am.
My name is Carol-Ann Lewis McFarlane, and I was born in Scotland in a small village called Aberfeldy in Perthshire, and my sister and I were taken to New Zealand very young, and so basically we grew up in New Zealand, sounding like New Zealanders, and we were brought up in the Presbyterian Church, going to Sunday school and Girls' Brigade. My family weren't really religious. I suppose going to church every Sunday sounds a bit like that, but when I was about 14 I became a Pentecostal, and that's when I became really religious and like writing Bible verses on the wall of the toilet, and when people would be sitting and it would come into their mind. And when I was working for my first job was with the Department of Industrial Research, Scientific Industrial Research, doing a practical for a year before I went to study horticulture. This was a terrible thing I did, and I didn't realise how bad it was, but I used to slip tracts into the government mail, and I remember one of the scientists was going to England to do I don't know what you call it, sabbatical I suppose, and he was just getting me to type up the letter for him for his accommodation, and I remember the lady coming back with the comment, "Well, thank you for the little bit of literature," and he so I was definitely a Pentecostal born-again Christian when I was growing up quite young, about 14 I think, when I converted. I suppose as a born-again Christian you start with full impact and plenty of energy, and as the time goes on you kind of, I don't know, maybe run a bit dry, and I was sort of searching, and I was diluted, like I was not much, it wasn't really standing out that I was a Christian. I was quite merged into society and not like I was when I first became a Christian. So I was looking for something. I was looking for a religion that I would like. I studied Islam at Teachers College, but I didn't know I'd studied it. I know I studied it in my head, but it wasn't alive for me. I sort of thought, we have a monastery in the town that I live in Taradale, and I went to a retreat there. It's a Catholic monastery, and I kind of thought, well, I'd like to be a Catholic, but I do believe in Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, so I couldn't really be a Catholic, and I couldn't be a Jew because I do believe in Prophet Jesus, so I didn't know there was anything else, and I was so excited when I found out that Islam is just a progression of the great religions, that came to the Jews, came to the Christians, and now it's come to all of the rest of us. I think, first of all, I was seeking it, and I know the other part of my life, which is teaching, I always wanted to go to the Middle East. I wanted to go to the Middle East for a long time. As a Christian, a missionary came from, she'd been to Iran, and I was fascinated by all this separatism of supposedly their religion, that men and women were separate, and I read books about the ladies and what their life was like, and I was fascinated by all of that. But when I came, I went to Australia and tried to get work there, but I couldn't, and I did a course teaching English as a second language, and after a week I could actually put my CV on the internet and got a job in Sharjah. And so this was what I wanted. I was going to be in the Middle East, and I wasn't working and I wasn't getting any work, so boom, I was off. And once I was in a private school in Sharjah, and the people were remarkable. Just in the area itself, I would see men praying in public, and I'm going to start crying.
Take a deep breath.
I suppose that when God answers a prayer like that, it's overwhelming. I'm still overwhelmed thinking about it. But I saw all these people doing everything. I'd studied the Bible and I saw these people doing all the things that I read. I read in the Psalms about praying in the evening and in the morning and in noon. And these people were doing exactly that, unashamedly living their life. And we always thought it with Christians, as we were, that we must walk the talk. And this was a big saying for us. And these people weren't just walking the talk, it was just embedded in their life. One of my colleagues had recently become Muslim, and I was working with her and other ladies, and how I actually said my Shahada was, people quite often told me how to become a Muslim. I didn't kind of have an intention of becoming. I was interested in hearing about things about it, but I didn't have that clarity of when I was a Christian. You know that you say this and you're born again. You know, it's very clear, the steps. And I don't know why it wasn't clear to me for the steps to become a Muslim, because it's pretty much the same. You say a public announcement, your Shahada, and we've got 5 pillars. You know, we've got a nice, easy physical thing that you can use to help you know what holds the faith. You know, the pillars that hold the faith for you and protect you in your faith. So I don't know why I don't know. Well, it was probably just the same as when I was studying it at Teachers College. Really, it's this thing that you have a veil over your understanding, and really, if you want that veil to be lifted, you have to want it to be lifted. This is what happened to me, that I got what I wanted, and I love that I get my dreams come true. I make my dreams. I wanted to go to the Middle East. I didn't know how I'd get there. I came to the Middle East, and what I was searching for was here. It was the home of faith, and I got the faith from the home. As a born-again Christian, we kind of really did have a big thing about relationship with God, and so it's like trying to catch up in a way. When you become a Muslim, you've got to kind of make all those connections in a way of how you grew really, and I suppose. I don't know how these things happen, but every time I need some information, of course I had Zaid House, which was, you know, a very good place for me when I first came to Al Ain to actually study and go through the course there, but also reading the Quran. I mean, it's like food. It protects us, you know, especially for us who don't have family that are Muslims, and we are alone, and a woman alone, and this isn't exactly what Islam wants for women, but this is our life, this is our reality. So we need to understand that all the things that we had in our previous faith, they just come in the sense that we have the path, we have the book, we have a straight path now. It's unadulterated, so we can read it and we can make sense of it, and we don't have to think, oh, well, you know, how does this work? It's pretty plain and simple, really. One God and righteous acts, and in a perfect manner. That's for the sake of Allah. I would like to think that I'm more patient. I would like to think that I have a better understanding of my life, because Islam isn't a religion in that sense, it's about your whole life, and that's what I noticed with those people. They just stopped to pray. This is not how we did it in Christianity. We went to the church and, you know, we prayed in privacy and that kind of thing. And there are very many beautiful things that we do in private in our religion, in Islam, but I love the practical nature of it. I love the fact that we're told how to prepare for prayer. We're told the words to say. We're given these things. And sure, we can say other prayers as well, but the power is in the word, and the words that have been used by the prophets before us. Well, that's really powerful. They had a very strong relationship. Embracing Islam, from hearing about it, I was immersed in it. I just was probably just waiting for, people would tell me, you say this, and I'd say it. And then someone else would say, you say this. Of course, I don't understand the Arabic language, and these people were saying it to me in Arabic and giving me a bit of a translation, but I don't know if they always did, to be honest. So I would say it here, I would say it there, then I went to the court and I said it. So I was immersed in it. If someone said something to say, I would say it. Why not? My life is how I want it to be. I have a faith, and it's been, it's embracing the Prophet Muhammad. That's the big difference for me, because I embraced the Prophet Jesus. So I had all that information in the pathway, but by embracing Prophet Muhammad, I had the last prophet. The puzzle was complete, and now it was just for me to learn the ways to walk and to be closer and to be stronger in my faith. So I didn't feel like, I felt like I was immersed, because I'm in this country, and this country has everything, the food, everything, that it's just, you're surrounded. So I wasn't conscious. Of course, I know I went to the courthouse, and I know I said it a couple of times with these people when they asked me to pray. So I felt that, it wasn't like, I wasn't sitting on the fence. I wasn't getting warmed up. I was kind of just chilling in it. I felt like I was in the moment, and this was the moment that I was supposed to be in, and I wasn't thinking, or I didn't think about it. When I knew that I was going to that courthouse, I wasn't contemplating what's going to happen to my life. I'm 52 at this stage. I'm old. I don't care what people think. It doesn't matter, because I know that it's going to be a better thing for me. And anyway, this is where I want to live life to the fullest. I want to have the best life. And this is what I saw. These people were free to pray, drop down and pray in the sand or the desert. Use sand to clean yourself with. It's so natural and normal and instinctive, and it's how I want to be about my religion. It's how I want it to be. I want all those aspects, what I eat. And actually, to be honest, the Māori people in New Zealand, they didn't, I don't know too much about their faith, but they did pray a lot about everything, where they cut a tree down and all of these things. So it's kind of like, and we grew up knowing a bit about the culture of our country, and so we to have a religion that takes in all the aspects of your life. It's marvelous. If you are ready for change, then step out and take it. Really, read if you want, read. Ask people if you need encouragement, but step out onto the water. It's great. It's really great. And the things that you need will come to you.